I'm Bronwyn and I'm from Red Kangaroo Books, and today we are talking to Kieran Finnane. Welcome, Kieran.
Thanks, Bronwyn.
And today we're talking in particular about your book Peace Crimes, which came out 2 years ago now?
That's right.
Yeah, and you've also got another book which is titled Trouble, and they're both printed, published by UQP Press.
That's right.
So Kieran, just tell us a little bit more about your book Peace Crimes.
So it's about Pine Gap Military Base, which, as we know, is not far at all from Alice Springs. And I got into that subject, it's a very challenging subject, by way of two events. One was a photograph, the photograph on the front of the book. Thinking about that, it was part of an exhibition in Alice Springs, and the other was the trial of some peace activists. And both these things occurred around the time when there was a lot of focus on Pine Gap because it was the 50th anniversary of the agreement to open it. So it's a military base, and at the heart of the book is its involvement in military action, in combat, by providing signals intelligence to the military, American military.
Yeah, so Pine Gap, they've been here quite a long time now. How long have they been here in Central Australia?
The agreement between Australia and the US was in 1967, and it began operations in 1970. So yeah, more than 50 years now.
Yeah, and how long did it take you to write this book?
So I covered the trial of the peace activists. They went into the base, they crossed the boundary fence. It was, they are non-violent activists. They were playing music and praying. They're Christians for most of them. And, but they were tried in the Supreme Court under very heavy Cold War legislation. And they were up for a potential penalty of 7 years in jail. So I was interested in that process of response by the state to protest, to dissent, as being very heavy-handed, and how they stood up to it, the kind of risks that they were taking, what drove them to take those risks. And I used that story to explore what the issues are around having that military base on our soil.
Yeah, so were you a little bit nervous when before the book was coming out, like being published and sort of in bookstores? Were you worried at all about writing a book like this?
Well, about the challenge to be on top of the subject, I suppose.
Yeah.
But if you mean, did I fear for my life or like repercussions for myself?
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really.
Thank goodness we live in Australia. A reasonable amount of dissent is tolerated.
Yeah.
And I was actually, everything in there was actually already on the public record. It's
Yeah.
not as if I was exposing new levels of secrecy.
Yeah. Okay. And we've got also some great news. You've been shortlisted for the Chief Minister's NT Book Award for non-fiction. So congratulations.
Thanks.
And so we'll be hearing the results of, I guess, the judges' results on the 22nd of June up in Darwin. And you've been invited to attend the ceremony up there, is that correct?
I'm looking forward to it. And
Yeah.
in my category, there are two other excellent authors and books. And so, yes, I'm proud to be in such company.
Yes, it's great, and it's very exciting for all these Central Australian authors to be recognised and for their work to be validated, and by being put on the shortlist.
Yes, there's some good writers in
Yes,
our
it's excellent.
community.
And it was great to see so many Central Australian authors being nominated. So Kieran, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us about your book. And yeah, all the best for 22nd of June.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. And Kieran's book is available to buy at Red Kangaroo Books or at our online store. The link to our online store is below this video in our comments. So thank you. And thank you, Kieran.
Thanks, Bronwyn.